So let's get into taking control of the sale. Taking control of sale came about when I was becoming a teacher, when I graduated education at Coastal Carolina University, and taking control of the sale started when I was a 21-year-old graduate from Coastal Carolina, starting to teach at Myrtle Beach High School, teaching 17, 18-year-olds. So I was 21, 22 years old. How am I going to tell a 17-year-old to go work out? Okay, I was physical education, so usually in high school they only had to take it 1 year. Usually all the students waited till that last year to actually take PE. I'm not sure why, but I had to have control because obviously I look young. At 21, I probably looked like I was 15. For some reason, I aged a lot quicker as time went on, but I looked really young, and I had to figure out a way to how to get control of these 17-year-olds, 16, 17-year-olds, for them to respect me, right? So it's the same thing. And the reason why I love sales is life, guys. And we mentioned it yesterday. Everything we do is sales. So we have this mindset of sales, and John hit on a lot of it, and that's why I cut a lot of it out. John hit on a lot of it, that we have this mindset that sales are slimy, right? We mentioned it when we were, the first night we went to dinner, we came back, we were all sitting, and we had, and forgot who it was, but someone started talking about, I don't want to be a slimy sales, or, we don't want to come off as salespeople. Well, I'll tell you right now, and I remember an appointment with Cody when I went down, and it was an older lady, she was single, single older lady, and of course she didn't have much trust, right? And she had such a bad image of salespeople. And she said that. She told us right off the bat. She's like, are you guys salespeople? And, Cody already had it. I said, yeah, we are, man, but, if you don't mind me asking, why do you have such a bad taste about salespeople? And I say that, and I always say that. If somebody says, you're a sales guy, I said, yeah, I am, but not all salespeople are bad, right? What do you want? What do you do? I like sales because I like to educate people, right? I want to educate homeowners, and we all know. I think we all get in this zone when we start getting into a homeowner's kitchen table, that we just get in this zone, right? In this zone, and it just comes out naturally. I think it's so hard to role play. I know we do a lot of role play. Hilton Head does a lot of role play. We do role play in training. We do role play when we do our sales test. It's so hard because we know that you're really going to act a little bit different when you're behind closed doors with that homeowner. So that's why we always take into account the grading scale. I take into account the grading scale is like, you just want to show us how much you know, how much you learned over the 2 weeks. We understand that. And then hopefully you have that connection when you get to that home, right? But I want to talk a little bit about today where no matter what, I think every sale is the same. No matter what, whether you're selling roofs, whether you're selling drinks, whether you're selling your kid to get to bed, it does not matter what it is. Every sale needs to be in our head the same. Now, what do I mean by the same? We need to have the control, okay? We need to have the control that we are considered, and Rob talked about his PEP, and it's awesome because that's how I think you need to treat your employees, right? You had that PEP, and we have that PEP in their step. Mine is PPE, and the only reason why I did that is because of COVID, so I know I remember it. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but ever since my full sales career, and this gives you a little bit of background on, hey, where did you start with your sales? Obviously, education. I talked to you about being a teacher. I then went on after teaching education. I was bartending at the time for my buddy's sushi restaurant, and still in Myrtle Beach today. I ended up taking it over as general manager. So I left the education scene and went into the service industry to be a general manager for 2 sushi bars in Myrtle Beach. Where is the sales in that? Anybody? You got to sell your employees on making the schedule, right? what do they say? Why I'm working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? I don't get any weekends, right? How am I selling them, right? Okay, talking to them about that. Well, yeah, on the next weekend, you show me that you work good on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then we'll put you on the next weekend, following weekend, okay? What about customers? Okay, customers have issues. Obviously, no one's perfect, right? Customers has issues. You guys are all selling your customers to get the roof, but you're also going to sell them when you have issues, right? You got to sell them to get back on track of moving the full production forward. So when people have issues and the server talks to them, is the customer usually happy? No, because they're not using the tactics to kind of get them calmed down. They have an objection. They have the objection that the sushi's bad or sushi doesn't taste good. They have an objection. Therefore, the manager comes, right? You have to be the manager. Now, how are you going to be perceived right off the bat? And we talk about it a lot of our training. We talk about it all the time. You're going to be perceived within seconds. Inside sales, bless you guys, right? Bless you guys because you have it harder because all you can do is be over the phone. So you guys, over the phone, 3, 4, 5 seconds you have until that person calling you knows how professional you are, knows how passionate you are what you do, and if you know what you're talking about, if you're an expert at what you do, right? Us sales guys showing up as PMs, we have the blessing that they're already taken care of at the beginning stage. We have a little bit more time, not much more, in my opinion, okay? I say maybe we have 15, 20 seconds to have when we talk to that person to get a good impression. I see it around the 3 crowns, right? If you haven't met each other, me and Don were talking a little bit, if you haven't met each other, you have a first impression over the text that you see over the sales bees, right? The sales text. And you get this impression of the person texting. Is that always the impression of who they really are? I think this weekend showed that it's not, right? But I love that because it struggled to solution. So that first impression is so key, and it helps for everybody, right? So know when you're texting and know when you're talking to people. When you're writing an email to that customer you don't really know, remember, they're going to have that impression pretty quickly, right? Right, Blake? We went over that. So customer service was sales for me. Learned very quickly how to relate to customers and how to overturn their objections to get them on an even keel.